Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Ruma Khalid. But today is the 21st of August 2025. These are the stories that we will be highlighting during the course of the show. We'll begin with the sixth round of strategic dialogue that was held between Pakistan and China. The Chinese Foreign Minister is in Pakistan as we speak, and it was a very important strategic dialogue that was held between both the countries, Pakistan and China. And this happens just a day after the trilateral summit that was held in Kabul between the foreign ministers of Pakistan, China and Afghanistan. What were the important details that were highlighted, whether it be from the economic front or the other fronts, is what we'll be discussing in the first story. Our second story will be on the trilateral summit that was held yesterday in Kabul, and of course Pakistan and China that have urged Kabul to rein in the terror outfits. We all know what those terror outfits are, and we've named them Fitna al-Kharij because of that as well. And the fact is that the onus of responsibility now remains on Afghanistan to do the needful. This is going to be our second story. Our third story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the attempt to seize Gaza by Israel. Now, Israel has started what it says is the first step of seizing Gaza. This is something that it had already decided upon and is now implementing it. To top that all is also the E1 settlements that are being created as we speak in the occupied West Bank, and that creates a huge issue, to say the least, for the Palestinians whose land is being usurped as we speak from not only the occupied West Bank but also from Gaza. A lot of countries are standing up to it, whether it be Australia, whether it be France or whether it be other countries, but the fact is that Israel is also reacting in a very below the belt manner to all of these countries. We will discuss that and more in our third segment. Our fourth story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the International Day of Remembrance and the tribute to the victims of the terrorism that is being observed across the world, including in Pakistan today. It was on this very day by the resolution 72/165. The United Nations had adopted this resolution to remember this day as the International Day of Remembrance and tribute to the victims of terrorism. We'll be talking about the important messages that have emanated on this very important day. Finally, we'll be talking about renowned judge Frank Caprio, who's passed away in his 80s, and he became extremely popular because of his televised not addresses but his televised judgments that became part of the American daily lives, and a lot of people resonated to his empathy and the way he reacted to the different people who used to come to his courts. This is going to be our last story. Let's begin with our first, and that concerns the ties between Pakistan and China, as well as the economic relationship that exists between both the countries and this CPEC. CPEC, of course, becomes and continues to be extremely important. Our Prime Minister is going to go to China in this very respect, and a lot of important decisions will be taken during his forthcoming trip to China. We've been joined by Liu Jiaxin, who is a CGTN reporter, joins us all the way from China. Liu, thank you very much to have joined us. It's a pleasure to have you on board from China. I'd like to understand from Beijing's perspective, how significant was today's sixth round of the strategic dialogue between the Chinese and the Pakistani side to reinforce China's iron brotherhood with Pakistan?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me here. I want to say that affirming the friendship and long-standing strategic partnership between the two nations was in the opening remarks of Foreign Minister Wang Yi, and that's the first and foremost message he conveyed during this dialogue. Wang Yi stated that China and Pakistan are ironclad friends who can trust each other and rely on each other. China will continue to prioritize Pakistan in its neighborhood diplomacy and will, as always, firmly support Pakistan in safeguarding its national independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, combating terrorism, achieving unity and stability, accelerating its development and revitalization, and playing a greater role in international and regional affairs. And most importantly, Wang Yi's arrival comes ahead of Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's planned trip to Beijing later this month for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, where he will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
All right. Also, I'd like to understand, Lou, China often highlights the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as a flagship project under the BRI, or the Belt and Road Initiative. How does the launch of the CPEC-2 during our Prime Minister's forthcoming visit to China under the ambit of the SCO reflect China's long-term vision of Pakistan's industrial development and the future of it?
Exactly. So this is another pivotal message that Wang Yi stated during the dialogue, which is fostering development. The upgraded version, or the second phase of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, is a concrete example of China's support for Pakistan's development, so Pakistan can fundamentally enhance its ability to cope with internal and external challenges. Wang Yi said China and Pakistan should work together to uphold the multilateral trading system and oppose unilateral bullying. The second phase of the corridor focuses on the development of growth, livelihoods, innovation, green development, and openness, focusing on the three major sectors of industry, agriculture, and mining. So China will build and operate the Gwadar port, ensure the smooth passage of the Karakoram highway.
All right. Lou, also given the changing regional dynamics, as we all know, with Foreign Minister Wang Yi recently visiting Kabul as well for the trilateral summit, and a very important summit being held yesterday, how does China view Pakistan's unique role as far as regional peace and connectivity is concerned?
Sure. Well, a day ago, during the trilateral foreign ministers' dialogue in Kabul, Wang Yi pointed out that China and Pakistan are both at the forefront of the international community and regional neighbors in helping Afghanistan stabilize and rebuild and expand its foreign exchanges. Well, Pakistan especially has long opposed external interference in Afghanistan's internal affairs and actively safeguarded Afghanistan's independence and sovereignty. So China appreciates Pakistan's efforts in opposing unilateral sanctions and promoting Afghanistan's reconstruction, and believes it is an important force in maintaining regional peace. Meanwhile, China and Pakistan have jointly voiced opposition to sanctions against Afghanistan at the United Nations and other international forums, urging international attention to Afghanistan's humanitarian needs. So the three countries share close historical, cultural, and economic ties, and the three sides believe during this trilateral meeting that the potential for trilateral cooperation is enormous.
The potential for China-Pakistan economic cooperation is enormous. Thank you very much, Liu Xiaoxin, to have joined us all the way from Beijing, CGTN reporter, giving us her perspective, rather Beijing's perspective, of the relations between Pakistan and China, especially on the economic front, in the wake of the visit of Wang Yi to Pakistan, and of course the forthcoming visit of our Prime Minister. Thank you very much, Liu, to have joined us. We have joined in the studios by two additional guests to discuss that and more. Let me introduce them to you one by one. Air Commodore retired Basit Raza Abbasi Saab joins us in the studio. Thank you very much. He was a foreign affairs analyst and our regular on our show. And we've also been joined by Dr. Muhammad Arif, who's an international relations expert. You join us for the very first time, so welcome to our show. I hope this will be the first of many. Dr. Hassan Daud Butt also joins us online, who's a Chinese investment expert. Dr. Saab will also be a pleasurable addition to this very discussion. We'll begin with this discussion, but before that we have to go to a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and as you very well know that our President Asif Ali Zardari Sahab has also met with Wang Yi during his visit to Pakistan, and of course important developments also happened as far as bilateral cooperation, different avenues that were discussed during the course of this discussion as well. We've been joined, as I was saying before the break, by Air Commodore Basit Raza Abbasi Sahab as well as Dr. Muhammad Arif. So I'll begin my discussion with Basit Raza Abbasi Sahab. Sir, how does the sixth round of the Pakistan-China strategic dialogue reflect the maturity as well as the depth of this all-weather friendship that both countries talk about?
It's yet another proof of our time-tested friendship, which has stood the test of time through all ups and downs for all these 76 years. We have been together, and we have supported each other. I, being from the armed forces, I'm very well aware of what difference the Chinese friendship has made to us. They were there when we were denied any suitable weapon system by the world. and they stood by us, they provided us whatever was required. And that has now pervaded throughout the country in the shape of CPEC, which in true sense is a game changer. The amount of investment at a time when nobody was ready to invest in Pakistan, and about $60 billion thinking of that amount of investment in Pakistan is a great tribute to Chinese sagacity and their friendship. I mean, they once a friend, always a friend.
I agree with you on that.
That is what the Chinese, although in diplomatic terms it doesn't happen, because most of the friendships
priorities always change. This
are
is what
transactional. You know, you serve my interest, I serve your, and when the interest is served, you go your way and I go my way. But not with Chinese. They have been always us. They have supported us in every respect, economically, the advice they have given us in every event, and diplomatically. In the United Nations, the Chinese support has made a difference in world affairs for us. Otherwise, there was at one time about the last decade, the Indians were very successful in their efforts to isolate Pakistan, and they had quite a bit of success. But all that changed in last May.
All right.
So, as far as your question is concerned, that how does the phase 2, it only shows that phase 1 has yielded tangible results, and now we are actually going on to the next phase. Let me say here that phase 1 should have yielded much better results. I think there are some weaknesses on our side, because we are not prepared for that kind of upgrade that quickly.
All right.
But now I think we have put our act together, and we are ready to sort of now launch onto this second phase more effectively.
All right. Let's look forward towards that as well. Dr. Muhammad Arif, both the sides during their meeting, that is the Pakistani and side during this 6th session, also talked of unanimity of views and consensus on all the important matters. How crucial, in your point of view, is this alignment in shaping a global or rather a stable regional order, particularly among an environment of shifting global dynamics?
Very good question, and a very good moment as well, because Pakistan is standing at a point which is celebrated worldwide because of Chinese support in terms of security, in terms of development. China has always supported in last 75 years. It is this relationship is nourished. It is cared, respected, advanced, diversified, and it was started from very normal relationship, but now it has become strategic. Strategic means you have a long-term vision, you have more projects, and especially after the development of the CPEC and BRI, diversification of Pakistan's economic, military, security, technology, agriculture, medicine, even in other food security areas, we have diversified this. Besides that, diplomatically on international forums, China has always supported Pakistan. The current position of Pakistan, especially diplomatically, it is a day of celebration, and you can see from the smiles, gestures, handshakes, and all these things. This shows the friendliness between the two countries, and how this friendliness comes because of the trust, long-term tested. Lot of crisis came in between Pakistan relations, security crisis, military crisis, internal crisis, domestic, international. But Pakistan-China friendship survived. It succeeded, and it is standing on a pivotal point where we have to lead towards a better future.
That is why we call it an all-weather friendship and a relationship.
Sir, I have lived in China and worked with China. I know Chinese and Chinese culture. I think China has only one trusted friend, and Pakistan has only one trusted friend. Wang Yi was in India. He met with Jaishankar, with the security advisors, with the PM Modi, but it was silence over there. There were handshakes, but no gesture of friendship, of warmth or dynamism. So because they have tensions, but Pakistan-China relationship is free from tensions. We are planning futuristic developments in Pakistan, and CPEC is the road towards better brighter future of Pakistan.
Inshallah. Now talking of CPEC, Dr. Hassan Daud, but thank you very much for have joined us. With the formal launch of CPEC 2 expected during the forthcoming visit to China by our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif Saab, how will industrial cooperation and the special economic zones, in your point of view, change the trajectory of Pakistan's economy?
Yeah, thank you very much. I am, delighted that the Prime Minister, when he visits China this month and for the SEO conference, followed by some of the other activities, they will formally announce the launching of CPEC Phase 2. And why is this important as a milestone? Because in Phase 1, there were certain, deliverables set, and some of them were achieved. And actually were able to achieve more than the expectation, like in energy sector, infrastructure development, optical fiber. In some sector, industrial cooperation, there were challenges. There were challenges because of COVID. There were challenges because of some political issues. And of course, the movement of Chinese restriction in a post-COVID environment and the overall global economy. Right now, we are talking about in Phase 2, we are talking primarily, and you must understand, and all of your audience must understand, that CPEC is an economic corridor, and all the activities, whether they were in energy sector, infrastructure development, Gawada port, maritime sector development, were all meant to be stimulus to the economy of Pakistan. And when we were doing the overall mapping of all such activities under the monographic planning, we thought perhaps 2 to 3% growth will happen because all this infrastructure will support industrialization in Pakistan, which unfortunately did not happen. And now the challenge is more because when in 2013 we were working on industrial cooperation and in CPEC, they were, friendly forces towards globalization. Now we see more protectionist approach. But the good part around this is that because of this protectionist approach coming from the West, there is more near-shoring and friendly shoring happening. That means countries which are closer to you boundary-wise, geographical boundary-wise, and also which align with you in geopolitical sense, investment is going that way. So for us, I think in that respect, it is easier to attract investment from China. But then when we go there with our pitches, with our low-hanging projects, we should be crafting them well, encouraging the Chinese to come, because now again, the thing that has happened recently is the whole of government approach under SIFC, which is supporting investment attraction, enabling environment, despite all the challenges in and around, including the security challenges. And in last week and in recent few days, we have seen Chinese like challenge apparel special economic zone inaugurated by private sector, Chinese private sector, Shandong province maritime sector team coming and talking about shipbuilding and maritime sector development. So I think good things are happening. All we have to do, of course, we need to leverage for better industrialization. Our economy is under challenge and under stress. We need export-led industry. We need jobs and employment for our students. And for that to happen, industrialization is the only way forward. Then, for having this industrialization, you cannot have a whole of country approach or one size fit all approach. You need to select certain SCZs, attract Chinese, tell them that these SCZs are for you, where we can have Chinese investment and joint ventures with Chinese. Build capacity of your own business community to do joint ventures, because Chinese side has big enterprises, they have global experience. So build that, build the capacity of chambers to identify the right kind of business leaders to do merger and acquisitions with Chinese, and then move them swiftly towards these industrial zones. Unless we do not have these industrial zones already identified, and some people question whether IMF is asking us not to have those SCZs, I think, and I need to clarify, all SCZs which are already identified, approved, under development phase, have no restriction whatsoever from any multilateral, any financial body. So therefore, we need to focus on industrialization, take few projects and sectors where we have competitive advantage, and then ask the Chinese to come here we must take support from Chinese leadership, political leadership, Chinese National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC, which is our counterpart for planning. Tell them, because NDRC has established window for B2B interaction, B2B collaboration within Belt and Road Initiative Forum, and use that platform for attracting investment in Pakistan. It is easier said than done, but it has to happen now.
All it has to happen now. This is extremely important, and I thank you very much for your input in this regard. Ambassador Abbasi Saab, he was Dr. Hassan Daud Bhatt was talking about B2B linkages. Now, the Pakistan-China B2B investment conference, which is also scheduled during the forthcoming visit of our Prime Minister to China, what role can the private sector, in your point of view, play in strengthening the already deep strategic partnership beyond the government-to-government levels?
But sir, we all know that the private sector is the most vibrant sector of any economy. You see the West, their progress is largely because of the activity of the and dynamism of their private sector. Somehow or the other, our private sector has not come up that vigorously the way they should have. But let bygone be bygone. Now there is a new window, there is a new opportunity. And I think now the private sector has realized that this is a very beneficial, because the environment is very conducive. China is next door. Any product of quality that you produce, you can just send it across the border, and it is connected with land, air, I mean by sea. You can see all the means of transportation are available. And if soon the corridor, actually the CPEC is actually the corridor. So if that corridor becomes fully operationalized, the opportunities are galore, they are unlimited, because what you need, you have economic zones, you have all the facilities to set up an industry, you have a very advanced country who is ready to cooperate in any respect. And that is what the G2G has achieved.
Yes.
You know, that sort of the way has been paved.
Agreed.
Now this is a it's a highway for the industry to flourish. And I'm sure the private sector is watching. And these conferences which are taking place, they will open their eyes to what the opportunities which are awaiting them.
As you said, the opportunities are abundant and are limitless, and we need to know how to grab the opportunity and use it to our maximum advantage. Dr. Muhammad Arif, beyond trade and defense, how can people-to-people exchanges, cultural cooperation, academic linkages also further cement the Pakistan-China friendship?
Very good. In the last few years, we have seen business-to-business collaboration, industrial collaboration, technological collaboration, but there is also academic collaboration, media collaboration is also there. Why it is happening? Because Chinese have interest, they have good relations with it, and this particular government has given new energy, added new dynamism to our relationship. So more trust, and in last 2 years you can see more Chinese investors, business, small, big, they are coming, and also university to university collaboration. And Prime Minister has launched a special initiative, and 1,000 students have visited Agriculture University of China. They will be trained in a modern agriculture, new technology, and farming will be transformed. And in this way, Pakistan's food security will be very much ensured. So this is the area. And one more thing I will suggest, because when China was launching its CPEC in 1979, it reforming, so it started from one unit, only Shenzhen, not many places, because when you launch different projects at many places, so legal problems come and other problems come. So start from one thing which is prioritized, which is can give you very good outcome. So start from that, it will be fruitful, it will be valuable. Then every other small industry, a big industry will follow in management, in finance and technology transfer in other areas. So this is the new area, and it needs better management only. All other factors and forces, they are active and working very well.
All right, wonderful. This brings to an end our first segment that was on Pakistan-China ties, especially in the economic realm. But there is more to Pakistan-China ties than just trade linkages. There is so much more, because there was a trilateral summit that was recently held in Kabul, and both the Chinese FM and our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister were there, as well as the Afghan interim Foreign Minister was there as well. And both Pakistan and China have pressed Afghanistan's Taliban authorities to act against the terror groups threatening their security, while reiterating offers of economic cooperation with, of course, the extension of the CPEC to Afghanistan. Dr. Hassan Dawood Bhatt, how does the trilateral engagement, in your point of view, between Pakistan, Afghanistan and China strengthen efforts for regional peace, stability and economic collaboration?
Yeah, I think it is extremely important. And I think China is playing the stabilizing role that it is supposed to play, in terms of bringing peace, stability to the region, because this region has immense potential, immense regional connectivity. And if you look at Global South and us being part of that, the demographics also support development of this region. So therefore, China, under stress from West because of some protectionist and tariff war and some narrative that is being built, has to bring stabilization to this region, and China is playing that role. Pakistan has been speaking about some of the challenges around security, counter-terrorism, and I think China and by the way, there is a joint working group for security under CPEC also, and there again with their discussion around protecting the corridors, Chinese nationals working in Pakistan and doing service to Pakistan has been discussed time and again. But I think now China has stepped up on the gear, and they are now encouraging Afghanis and Pakistan to sit on one table where Chinese are present and also mediating the discussion. I am witnessing, and this is a series of bilateral meetings happening, started from Beijing, Pakistan, now in Kabul, which is also unprecedented. I think the way forward seems very promising and bright. I feel the statement that has come out of the trilateral conference also promises economic growth. I work under investment, so anything that brings investment, that supports investment is welcome. I just want to also highlight the aspect of Trans-Afghan Railway that is happening with Central Asia. The investment from Central Asia and perhaps China going into some of the sectors in Afghanistan. And if we can converge it under CPEC, bring it under Belt and Road Initiative, encourages Afghanis to look at the economic and development and prosperity of this country, I think that's the way forward. And I think China is leading that path, navigating that path. And I think Pakistan, China and Afghanistan playing true role of diplomacy, because in this time and age, it is about economic development, economic growth, and anything that's come in between.
All right, that's wonderful to know. Basir Raza Abbasi, Pakistan and China urge Kabul to take action against groups like the Fitna al-Kharij or the TTP, the ISK, the ETIM and the Al-Qaeda. How critical is Afghanistan's role to ensure that these groups no longer use their soil to destabilize the region?
I think it's extremely important, because all these groups are housed there. If that linkage is severed, they have no place to go. They will be scattered all over. The only place that they're there because they are sheltered, not only sheltered, in some way supported, because all the weapons that the Americans had left, they have actually trickled down to these guys. And the terrorist attacks that we had since the latter part of the 24 till today, we have seen very advanced weaponry used in that. So, if Afghanistan, but unfortunately, the approach by the present Afghan government is at the what I can say is lukewarm. They agree that their soil should not be, and they sort of in fact commit that our soil will not be used.
You remember the first address by the interim foreign minister, Mr. Muttaqi, who said the same day, that our soil will not be used against any neighborhood country, and look what happened afterwards.
So this is it. This is what I'm saying, that their response is lukewarm. Their words, they admit that they say that because this is actually part of Doha agreement, which they had with the United States. that their soil, Afghan soil, will not be used for their any exporting something abroad. But it's been happening. And look, Afghans can say that we are wrongly blaming them. How about China? China is saying the same thing. So it's quite obvious that all these groups, ETIM,
TTP,
ISK, TTP, Baloch, also getting support from there. Al-Qaeda, they are all housed there and they are supported. Now, if the Afghans were serious, why are these groups still located in the east of Afghanistan? Move them to the north so that they are away, because they are just sitting at our border. And the moment they get an opportunity, they infiltrate and they do their acts of dastardly acts and they go back to their safe havens. So this is what Chinese have offered and what Pakistan have offered. Please look at the map. Afghan is sitting such an advantageous position. It is sort of at the crossroad of east to west and north to south movement. If they realize the economic potential that their position has, they would actually throw all these groups outside, because they will actually flourish economically. If the CPEC is extended into Afghanistan, and Dr. Saab just mentioned the this Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan railway, which is actually now taking shape. So that this all is a part of CPEC. This can become a part of CPEC. And the opportunities, the movement can take from all these countries to the Gwadar seaport, and from the sea they can be exported to anywhere in the world. And on the land they can sort of up the whole Central Asia and South Asia. I mean, every place is just open to them. The Central Asia, they will all be connected, and then they go to the Middle East, and from the Caucasus side you can actually reach up to Europe also.
And that's everything. But for that we need a stable Afghanistan, and we need an Afghanistan that is free from all of these nefarious elements that are trying to destabilize the region. Dr. Muhammad Arif, our Deputy Prime Minister regrets that counter-terrorism commitments are not being honored by the Afghan interim government. Wang Yi, the Chinese Foreign Minister, stresses the need to eradicate the breeding ground for terrorism, quote unquote, while opposing foreign interference, and we all know which foreign interference was being talked about. How, in your point of view, can this be achieved by Afghan assistance, and how does this balance between internal counter-terrorism and external non-interference could shape the regional security framework going forward?
Very pertinent challenge. It is a regional challenge. And already Pakistan so many times to Taliban government have informed that these areas are creating problem for Pakistan, and Pakistan-China economic corridor. Lot of terrorism activities have happened around the region of the Pakistan-China economic corridor. But I think the Taliban government was not listening. But now the Chinese are coming, they have power, they have influence, and they are teaching in another way. And Chinese philosophy believes that first you have to educate, you have to change the mindset, and I think now they have realized that we have to change our model or paradigms and ensure security of the neighbors, and good neighborliness can create a better environment where investment can come, and in this way the all region will prosper. As CPEC extension is planned for Afghanistan, so this dialogue or this understanding, this initiative of engagement is very positive, and the action should be taken by the Afghan government. Pakistan and China both have given them reports, insights, data about insecurity problems, and so the action should be taken by the Taliban government, and only then stability will come, peace will come, and the dream of prosperity and development of Afghanistan can be materialized after the security is ensured. Security is not for Pakistan, security is also for Chinese. No investor is coming, Afghanistan is dependent on international donors, so internal problems are. Though Afghan government is holding power, but that power can be challenged by terrorist organizations. Those organizations are based in the border areas of Pakistan. So it is a challenge for the Afghan government, also challenge for Pakistan. So it is a mutual collaboration. So we work to three countries work together, understand each other, understand the crisis and challenges, and make a collective plan for counter-terrorism.
All right, Basit Saab, my next, of course, segment pertains to Israel and Palestine and what is going on as we speak. They have intensified their onslaught towards Gaza. Apparently, as per the Israel claims, this is to take complete hold of the Gaza city, and there's a lot of opposition that is going on from within Palestine and from across the world as well. With this intensification of strikes on Gaza city, already killing dozens, displacing around 1 million people as we speak, and this is going on as we speak in real time. It's being called ethnic cleansing, it's been called a humanitarian disaster, war crimes and genocide. But why isn't anything happening? Why aren't all these statements that are emanating from across the world getting translated in some kind of tangible action?
I think the future historian, when will write the history of these days, the chapter will be called Death of Morality. The morality has died. Whatever the nations who are sort of speaking out now, the governments, they are speaking out, I mean Western nations. They are speaking out because there are a lot of hue and cry on their own populace who see these perpetration of these crimes against humanity, crimes against innocence, crime against anything that is worthwhile in the world. It's happening. They have killed journalists, they have killed children, they have shot them, they have
aid workers, they have killed aid workers.
So actually all this, the conscience of the populace has risen in the Western countries, but their governments are slow to react. Now whatever steps they are giving, I could only term it lip service. Materially, they have not. I mean, if they are so against Israel, if they are saying that Israel doing genocide and all that, at least call your ambassadors. I mean, show something that Israel is an aggressor. You say it and then everything goes normal, the business is normal. Now some countries are talking of not sending the arms to Germany. I am talking of the major suppliers.
Yes.
And US is out of it because US has unequivocal support for all Israel's actions. They have not sort of condemned, they have not, in fact they have only supported financially, militarily, diplomatically, in every respect. So I am very sorry to say that nothing seems to change on the ground. Unfortunately, whatever Israel has planned, it has all the wherewithal to achieve it, and that's being achieved every day at cost of human lives and cause of all this brutality, which the whole world watches. This is the only genocide in the world
that is going out in real time.
Documented. We see it every day, live we see those scenes, and yet the world's conscience is sleeping. No tangible action is taken.
Maybe it has died, not even sleeping,
so
I would say.
This is what I said, the death of morality. It has already taken place.
Agreed. Dr. Hassan Daud, but I'd like to understand your perspective on it all. There was a lot of talk of some kind of a peace deal or a ceasefire agreement that was being mediated by Egypt and Qatar. What happened to that? Hamas blames Israel on and its Prime Minister Netanyahu for disregarding efforts to reach a ceasefire and forging ahead with the military seizure of Gaza city. What do you predict?
Yeah, well, first of all, while Ambassador Saab has stated that it's death of morality, I think it's also death of all bodies, international bodies, which are meant and were established in a post-Second World War scenario to ensure peace and something like this, the genocide that is happening, for not to happen. But I think all of them collectively have failed. Not even one has actually stood up to the expectation and stopped Israel from doing what it's doing. Amnesty International has highlighted that this is genocide, and I think we, the Muslim world, has actually, OIC in itself has also failed. I think the peace process is stalling because Israel unilaterally is actually looking at its own dimension and way of looking at Gaza, whereas the rest of the world is on a different pitch. And if this continues, I think the region at large will have greater impact. There will be no peace in the region and the world at large. I am also sorry to say that large economic power, global powers have also not supported bringing in peace, including United States of America, for for actually supporting Israel in what it is doing. So I think
agree with you on that. But I think it's very important to highlight that on the international front, so that more and more people get to understand realize the importance of moving towards an end to this genocide. Last question to you, Dr. Muhammad Arif. Not only is this onslaught going on in Gaza, but there's also an annexation of the occupied West Bank, and to top it all, the deaths by the malnutrition and that have gone to more than 271. What's going to happen? This is what I'd like to understand. I want a very short answer.
I think, as the sir said, it is a crime against humanity, but humanity is rising again. Institutions are failing, governments are failing, and few vested interest groups, they are only successful, but overall humanity is, you know, in Sydney, in Tokyo, in London, in New York, everywhere there are protests. So all public, all over the world, public is standing with Palestinian people. They are raising voice for the independence of. So this is a new change. This is a new trend. This is a new world.
This is the people of power of the people that is going to get stronger and stronger with time, until and unless the governments bow to it.
Pakistan has played. Pakistan
yes,
and
a
China
very important
very
role.
good.
Very
they have
important
moved
role.
very good initiatives.
Agreed. Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan Daud Bhatt. Thank you very much, Air Commodore retired Basir Raza Abbasi Sahab and Dr. Muhammad Arif, to have joined us. Last two stories very quickly. The first story concerns the International Day of Remembrance and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. In its resolution in 2017, number 72/165, the General Assembly of the United Nations established the International Day of Remembrance and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism to be commemorated annually on this very day, that is the 21st of August. Our Prime Minister has paid glowing tribute to the martyrs and survivors of terrorism, reaffirming Pakistan's unyielding commitment to defeating the menace in all its forms and manifestations. And we all know how Pakistan has been a victim of terrorism in the last few decades. Last story concerns the renowned judge Frank Caprio, who has passed away at the age of 88. He gained enormous popularity on television and online. That earned him the nickname the nicest judge in the world, because of his judgments, because the way he used to address the people who used to come to his courts. The show was called Caught in Providence, featured heartening and humorous exchanges between Judge Caprio and those who wound up in his courtroom. He was a registered Democrat, a native of Providence. He was elected to the city's council and served from 1962 to 1968. After nearly 40 years on the bench, he had retired in 2023, and now he has left for a higher abode. Of course, his memory will live on, and so will his compassion and his heartening judgments towards the people of the US. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of today's Newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new stories attend to us, you in Pakistan. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.